What's up team, Komi here from 640S. We're going through the CrossFit Open 20.3 and it is 18.4. So the open workout this week is for time, 21:15.9 deadlifts, handstand push-ups straight into 21:15.9 of deadlifts with the 50-foot handstand walk increment in between each of the deadlifts. We're going to do a quick breakdown on the board again. Just like last week, our same kind of sequence of warm-up, blood flow, activation. This time we've added another piece of skill, and then our primer to finish before we start the workout itself. So today we know it's going to be really, really back heavy, and that's what we learned from the last time outing that we did do it. The warm-up will involve foam rolling of the T-spine, foam rolling of the lats to increase the overhead position. We will also go through a barbell hamstring smash just to loosen up some of the muscle tissues for the deadlift, and then the last one there being a banded pigeon hold just to make some free space in the hip capsule. The blood flow is exactly the same as last week. You can choose to do 2 to 3 rounds of 1 minute ski, 1 minute row, 1 minute bike, and if you want to, it's optional, nasal breathing only. If you don't have one of those modalities, just add on an extra minute on one of the others, and then kind of just go through the same sequence. Or maybe you could add in another skill piece like single unders or double unders for the same amount of time. The activation that we have chosen for today, 3 rounds for quality, and it is quality. Don't stress out about how fast you're doing it. We're going through just a nice range of motion through these movements. 15 lumberjack shoulder rotations. You'll have a barbell situated on your shoulder like this. You'll be holding with the opposite hand. And we're just going to raise the hand up overhead, bring it back down by your hip, and we're going to repeat for 15 reps, swap to the other side. If that's a little bit heavy holding the weight free-loaded, put it in the rack on a in a squat rack, stand underneath it, put some pressure down on the shoulder, and the same thing will apply. The next one will be 8 single leg, single dumbbell RDL, so 1 single dumbbell. And you're just going to cross over foot, cross over to the floor, and then hinge at the hips to load the hamstrings. 10 to 20 inverted shoulder taps. You'll kick up to the wall upside down. Ideally, wall facing will be easier, or you can kick up in a normal kick up position. You're going to alternate 1, 2, all the way to 20. If that's a little bit hard for you, you're in the scale division, let's go to a plank position, just like a push-up. We're going to hold the body weight on the floor, keep the arm extended, and the same thing of crossing over hand to shoulder. 30-second banded sciatic nerve stretching. You'll see that in the video. And then now we have a skill piece that we didn't have last week. So the skill, the reason why it's here is because of the movement standard. So make sure you have a clear movement standard of measurement, heel to wall, getting the head height, getting the midsection of the forearm, and that's going to be your kick up height for your handstand push-up. Now the skill, we're going to practice hand placement. You can draw chalk lines around your hand placement so then you and your judge know where your hands need to be, and it is going to be within inside the parameters of the measurements of the CrossFit Games requirements, which will be 900 millimeters by 600 millimeters. So you almost have a whole meter. If you're outside of that, you probably definitely could bring it in for starters, but that's going to allow you to follow the movement standard as well. So we're going to practice the hand placement. We're also going to practice dorsiflexion of the ankle. So that means if this is my foot here, I'm really going to try and point my toes down towards my chin, and it's going to raise my heel a lot higher to be able to raise over the target on the wall. Handstand kick-ups as well, so that's another part of our skill practice. You're going to be going constantly into the wall. We want you to practice the handstand kick-up when you're going to the handstand walk, because it's 2 completely different movements. The wall will catch you no matter how hard you kick, but if you start kicking hard for your first handstand walk, you'll over-rotate and you'll come down crashing each time. So make sure you've got a little bit of practice in there before you get started. I know it's in our notes, but I'll cover it here really quickly, is the fact that you should be going through with your judge before you get started and just covering your rep and just knowing what a good rep is, so then your judge can clarify that with you and you're on the same page. The primer today, 3, 2, 1, deadlift, handstand, push-ups. This is practicing our transitions, knowing the feeling, and then we have 1 more set of 3 deadlifts plus 2 rounds of a 3 to 5 meter handstand walk. We're going to perform that as fast as we possibly can, and you'll recover all the way back to neutral. So for the primer, you're going to go do that at the first weighted bar in the workout. Don't worry too much about the heavier bar. You can go to the heavy bar before you start the primer, but don't put too much emphasis on wasting good amount of energy and good reps there. The notes for today, it is a neutral spine workout. Rigidity of the spine here, so any kind of rounding is definitely going to cause you problems, not only today during the workout, but also a length of time afterwards as well. So make sure we try to stay as neutral as possible for today. It's going to be person dependent, so the abilities of a big person versus a small person and preference of movements is definitely going to come into play here, being the deadlift and the handstand push-up or the handstand walk. Bigger people can generally pull a lot more weight. but they don't go as well with gymnastics, performing body weighted movements. Obviously there's the exceptions, but it's just something to think about. Where are you going to break up your workout? Are you better at pulling, or are you better at the handstand push-ups or the gymnastic side of things? So look to break on maybe the thing that you're not so good at, so we don't blow out in the other areas of our workout. With the deadlift, we can go through the fast eccentric portion of the deadlift, being the reloading portion, so you can create good speed on the way down. Definitely when you pass the knees, you can allow the bar to kind of free fall yourself to the ground, so we're not preloaded with all that tension all the time. However, on the bounce of the barbell, we're not looking for a big bounce and the arm to bend and the elbow to break. This will be in no reps, so keep your arms nice and long. We're not exactly bouncing the barbell off the ground, but we're just trying to eliminate all that loading tension and just trying to let gravity do some work for us. Make every single rep count. The kick-ups of the handstands, let's get our heels over top of the line. Let's make sure of a good lockout. Don't come down off the wall, especially on that last rep before you've done it. So I think what a common thing we will see and what we've seen in the past is that on that last rep, and you'll know yourself when you've done a workout in your gym with your handstand push-ups, you'll kick up to the wall and you'll do your 5 handstand push-ups, and on your 5th one, just shy of lockout, you'll kick off the wall because you're ready to come down to go into your next movement. Now that could cause you to get a no rep. Just make sure of your last rep, especially before coming down, because you don't want to waste another 6 seconds each round to get that last single rep. So that'll be 18 seconds in total. The dorsiflexion of the heel we've covered. Know your body line and your own awareness. If you need to be closer to the wall to get your heel position over the line, not breaking at the midline or the hollow section here, so we're staying nice and rigid again. So that's the neutral spine we're talking about. That's more of the main thing, that your body line and your awareness of where you should be stacked up on the wall, and your hand placement comes into play. The movement standard with your judge. Go over it, go over it, go over it. We can't say it enough. Clarify with your judge before you get started that you want to be doing consistent reps and you won't stop until your judge says no rep. And if you go again and you get another no rep, maybe it's time to come down and communicate exactly what's happening, but you don't want to be static at the top of every single rep, waiting, yep, waiting, yep, waiting, yep. It could be more detrimental than good. Let's just see what can happen if we get some fluency in our reps, and then once we get called the no rep, that's when we decide to rein it in a little bit and get ourselves in check. Don't forget the handstand wall kick-up practice. It will be very tough to keep your tension with the midline throughout the whole workout, especially coming into that later end of the back half of the workout. So if the handstand walks aren't going too well for you to try and hold perfect position, it may be okay for you to bend your knees somewhat and have your feet lead you forward. However, you want your spine static and neutral as per normal, but your feet can allow you just to chase your body weight a little bit, but you want to avoid overarching with the back because the feet are over too much. So there's going to be an element of staying nice and static here, but not having to be exactly pinned up tall, because the midline is definitely going to be broken down by that point. Avoid hyperextension of the handstand walk. It will cause you overarching. Now that could be something like looking too far forward during your handstand walk and just giving you that extra bit of extension through the lower back, which will put all your lower half of your body, which will be upside down at this point, the weight situated on the lumbar spine. And guess what? That's going to be exactly where the deadlift hits you as well. All in all, we know a little bit about this workout. We do have a recovery piece that is compulsory for all of our athletes to complete after the workout. While you're still warm, get on the bike. Let's get some blood flow happening. 5 minutes at conversational pace. Let's roll out our backs. Let's get some good band distractions going, and there's a couple of just body weighted movements that we want to see you guys doing. Some shin box rotations, some squat rotations, just any kind of lumbar rotation movement that we can free up some good space to allow ourselves to either recover by tonight or have another crack at it in a couple of days time. So that's 20.3. That's our summary. Have at it.